Thank you so much for coming down here today. My name is Michelle Pearson, and I'm Deputy Director for the Economic Development Department for the City of Phoenix. And as part of my roles and responsibilities is we oversee the business retention expansion activities for the City of Phoenix. And so as part of that, we provide workforce assistance to our Phoenix employers. And this is part of the dream that a few people had about 24 months ago. And now today, 1 year later, it's become a reality. And it's very exciting because the City of Phoenix is very proud of its existing talent. And we're proud that we're able to put it together with economic development activities. Before we get into the specific program, I will be introducing a couple of keynote and very important individuals who have made this a reality for us and who have been supporting the team to make this come true. I know Seth Dyson, who manages this center, will be coming up and introducing the team, but I just want to acknowledge Stan Flowers, who, raise your hand. Okay, Stan. Everyone knows Stan. Pam Lindley and Susan Hyatt also. And then the rest of the team who helped build this place, because a year and a half ago it was a shell. And a year and a half ago we weren't sure if it was going to happen. And now it's here, it's beautiful, and I want to just thank everyone. Melissa's back there, so I don't want to forget Miss Melissa, who ordered the furniture here. So, without further ado, I'd like to introduce two people. One of them is Paul Blue, who is our Deputy City Manager, and the other person who Paul will introduce is Daryl Rich, who is the Chair for the Phoenix Workforce and Business Development Board. I think I mixed that up. But I have a feeling that Seth wanted me to do something before. Everyone, don't forget to get a folder from the back and then a sticky note. Yes. Oh, there you are. Sticky note, okay? So, and he'll tell you why later. He tells me what to do. So, Paul Blue started with the City of Phoenix 20 years ago. And he began his career in the Economic Development Department, which this center is part of. And throughout his 20 years, he has moved over to the Aviation Department and into other several administrative and managerial positions. And then we were fortunate to have him come back to CED. And we were only fortunate to have him for a year and a half maybe, until the mayor's office took him as the chief of staff. So he actually started seeing this. He started helping us realize our dream. And he is an individual who I deeply admire, and he's a mentor, he's an innovator, and he is one that inspires. And so without further ado, Paul Blue.
Well, good morning, everybody. Oh, okay, that a little bit better. Good morning. Good morning. I'll pay Michelle $20 later because she made me 5 years younger, which is awesome. I think that's great. So I've been with the city since about 1989. And as Michelle said, I work for the city manager in the city of Phoenix, and economic development is one area that I help support. So on behalf of the mayor and the city council, thank you for being here. We're really pleased to have you be a part of us celebrating this facility. So I've spent a lot of my career working with businesses. I've been probably one of the more externally focused folks in the city for the last couple of decades. And I can tell you, when we're talking to companies about why they invest, the top three things on their list relate to talent. And it is quality, availability, and cost. Everything else is tied for fourth or below. The talent is always what matters. If the enterprise can't find the talent, you don't get to go talk about all these other topics. And so today we're celebrating Not only that this has been in operation for a year, but I would tell you this is a core piece of economic development infrastructure for this community because it allows us to go address what companies tell us are the most critical issues for them, talent. And so this is a place where employers and prospective employees get matched, get trained, and for us, there's almost nothing more important than we can be about than helping the existing business community grow and expand their business. For us, the reason that's important is because we don't have to convince these folks to employ here, they do. We don't have to convince them to invest here, they do. We don't have to convince them to give here, they're already doing that. And so we spend a lot of time working with our existing employers, and I will tell you, I have been out and took the mayor out to see probably the top 100 employers in the city of Phoenix. Without a doubt, every one of them told us talent was the most important thing, and every time we visited with them, we told them about this facility and the opportunities and attributes it's had. Time and again, we've had people say, well, how do I sign up for that? How do I use this? So I think the proof has been in the pudding of people are actually taking advantage and good use of this. So it's a real exciting thing. I want to thank you. I know there's a number of partners in the delivery of services in this facility. Thank you for all you've done to make this be a reality. One of the key partners for us, and actually the original investor in the facility, has been the Phoenix Business and Workforce Development Board, who helps us oversee the federal Workforce Investment Act dollars that drive a lot of workforce development in our community. And so we could not have gotten this done without them. And so it's really my pleasure to introduce the chairman of the board, Darrell Rich. Let's welcome Darrell.
It's a good day. It's beautiful outside, it's beautiful inside. That's a good day. As you said, my name is Darrell Rich. I'm the chairman of the Phoenix Business and Workforce Development Board. We're one of about 650 workforce development boards across the entire country. Of those 650, maybe 5 in the entire country have something like this. Maybe. None of them are half as big as we are. We are the biggest city in the country that has something like this to call home. Something like this to combine business and workforce. Something like this to drive economic development in our community. When we come together as a board, our vision is we want businesses to have access not just to talent, but to world-class talent, so that Phoenix can become an economic leader globally, not just statewide, not just nationally. We want people to come here. If we make that easy for them to say yes, then they say yes more often. This center helps us accomplish that very task. This center, Michelle actually understated it a little bit. It was about a 5-year process up to a year ago of meetings and subcommittee meetings and city council meetings and meetings with the mayor and board meetings and community and economic development and workforce talking to each other and deciding to work together because we knew that that was the way we had to do it to move forward in the current economy and for the future. And coming together and getting this center done, and as Michelle said, 18 months ago, we were still kind of like, because 18 months ago it was already supposed to be done. Now we're celebrating a year with the center open, a year with the center making a difference, a year with the center attracting businesses and giving them a reason to come to us and say yes. A year with businesses coming in and saying, we'll help train your people. Look, you've got a laptop lab right here, and you've got high quality training, and you've got community partners through the economics or the education side that will help us drive curriculum. You've got talented workforce professionals to help teach it. And it cost us what? And we say, 0. And they say, what? And we say 0. Because as Paul said, cost to these employers is a big deal. And when we show them everything we can offer and how much we're going to charge them, their eyes open up. Their minds open up. And they start to see us as a solution for them and come to Phoenix. We've really worked hard to create a place where employers can feel at home. And when you look around this center, this is business friendly. This is, I'm a business executive, I want my people trained there. And if I need 15 of these people, let's train 20 of them and then I can pick. And then I've got 5 people in a pipeline so that I can continue to hire. And then I've got a program in place so I can continue to create the talent base that I need so I can grow, so we can expand. This center's been an opportunity for businesses to come from out of state, show up here in one day, have interviews with multiple people, hire 10 or 12 or 15 individuals to start their operation here in Phoenix and leave the same day, because we have an opportunity for them to do that. They tell us other cities don't provide that. Good. One more check in our favor. One more reason they can say yes to Phoenix. That's part of the reason we had the vision 6 years ago. That's part of the reason we celebrated a year ago when we opened the center. That's the reason we're here today celebrating the successes we've had. And this center is now a catalyst. It's driving talk in the business community. It's driving workforce success. And when we look at some of the numbers that have come through, each of you should have picked up a packet, and there's going to be a, on the right-hand side when you open it up, there's a one-sheet memo, a letter, that's through the end of the month of April that gives you some of the statistics coming out of this center. It's pretty phenomenal when you look at some of the things we've been able to accomplish. 85% retention rate for workers that go through our S.O.A.R program here in the center. That's phenomenal. Employers love that kind of a number. It means we're getting talented individuals trained to their standards that they hire and keep, and that's a big deal. We've had more than 400 employers utilize the business center so far. 400. Not 4, not 40. That's a lot. That's an awful lot of companies. We've had more than 4,000 visitors, which equates to about 1,500 unique visitors per week coming through the center. That's a big deal. We've got membership on our board that represents mandated partners, city partners, business partners. And as we speak right now, we're working on getting some ASU partners from the downtown campus to come on board because they're excited about what we offer. So when we can tie our community together through workforce, through business, through education, and provide the opportunity for businesses to come, they're going to come and they're going to say yes. We're very proud of what we've been able to accomplish. We'd like to thank the mayor, the city manager, the city council for all working with us and helping to envision this with us so that we could arrive to today where we've had the success we've had. We'd like to recognize Michelle Pearson and her team that reaches out to the businesses, and Cynthia Speltwin. I don't see Cynthia here today. On the workforce side and her team, which is Stan Flowers and the group over there, thank you. Thank you for each of you who have come and participated. And last but not least, when we have our board meetings, we generally have a few people from the community that come and listen. They participate, they can comment. And Paul Frankowiak, am I saying that right? Frankowiak? Actually went to one of our meetings, and it's not often that somebody comes to one of your board meetings as a standalone person and says, hey, I was impressed enough to actually take the time to write a letter saying this is what I saw. But here's what Frank had to mention. He said, I have to say that of all our visits to all the local boards across the state, Kelly and I gain a unique perspective on the way that local workforce boards operate. Phoenix is, hands down, no doubt about it, not even close, the most impressive and professionally run local workforce investment board that we have in Arizona. The trains run on time, everyone's respectful, and the atmosphere is that of professional enterprise. Your board members are engaged in the conversation, and they're paying attention to the business that is before them. What we're doing is working. This center is evidence of that. We look forward to 10 and 15 and 20 years down the road when we look back and wonder what we ever did without this center, because it's become that critical in our local economy. With that, I thank you for being here. Now let's enjoy a 2 or 3 minute video that'll highlight some of the successes the center's had over the first year it's been open.
My name is Seth Dice, and I'm with the Phoenix Business and Workforce Development Center. If I've not had the opportunity to meet you, please stay after. I'd love to get connected. But I'd like to just give Shireen a shout out for that video. First time we're dabbling with some of this technology, and I thought she did a great job. But again, like the video said, we're not even close to being done. We're not even close to finishing, getting started. And that's where we need your help. So we want you to see this as your business center as well. We want you to own this, and we want you to take the message to the rest of our business and industry to say we want to get connected. And because what we do out in the community, we also are representing you in various lights. So we know we can't fill every single job that the business comes to us. We talk to Wallen, we talk to Goodwill, we talk to a lot of our partners and say, you know what? These are the folks that will help us together seamlessly put people to work. And so thank you for being here. I think you all are civic entrepreneurs for showing up to an open house. I always wonder who shows up to an open house, because I do all the time. You guys are awesome. That means you're already committed. We're preaching to the choir. We want you to go beyond today and go tell people about us, because this is our marketing message. So, but in order to do that, we want to share with you what we do very quickly. Quick 10-minute presentation. I'd like to introduce the team, though, that delivers all of this. And so Shireen McLemore is our senior business consultant, wave hi. Terry McAvoy is one of our other senior business consultants. Al Jernigan over here is a business consultant focusing on IT. Let's see, Christina Quijada in the back is another business consultant. Hayden is really our operations manager, keeping me and the center in line. And then Veronica is not here today. She's in Costa Rica. Of all the days to request a day off at our open house, so just kidding. She deserves a break. And then, is there anyone else? Oh, so part of our center here, we have job seekers come in for a 2-week job readiness training. We'll talk a little bit more about that. But we have 2 expert trainers on staff that I'd like to introduce right now. Neva Smith, right over here, head of our S.O.A.R program, and Michelle Powell. Is Michelle here? There she is. Thank you for training and putting people to work through your expertise. So right now, I'd like to introduce Shireen McLemore, who will go through some talking points on what you can then share with the company. So your Post-it note that we have, each of you should have, on the very back window wall, we have a window of opportunity. We want you to write down either questions or opportunities for us as a team or us as a workforce system to give us an idea of what we need to do next. So if there's a glaring opportunity that you think about as you hear, write it down, put your name on it, put it on the wall of wonder or the window of opportunity or whatever else I want to rename it, and let us know. We'd love to engage with you. So without further ado, here's Shireen.
Okay. I'm not a big fan of mics, so can you all hear me okay without it? Okay. Just to give you a quick snapshot of my background is I actually came from being a strategic HR manager into economic development and workforce. So I always say it's kind of strategic HR management on steroids when you do workforce development. But it's been a passion of mine, and I'm very appreciative of all the opportunities I've had to serve businesses and residents. But who we are, you kind of saw it in the video, we're actually funded through federal dollars through the Workforce Investment Act, and we're part of a regional system. So we talked about partners. Some of our other partners are the Department of Economic Security. So we're Maricopa Workforce. We all work as a unit together. And then we are the only municipality that actually has their workforce development department embedded into their economic development department, which is huge. So when we work with our other team members that are on the other side of the house, it is really a much more holistic and cohesive way to deliver services to a company, whether that's an existing business or a new business coming in. So our vision is really to become a high-value network of choice for building a skilled workforce, keeping businesses competitive and sustain economic growth. When we think about what we do in our initiatives, we are really a pipeline of we want to create a pipeline of qualified workers to meet the labor force needs. So when you think of a pipeline, it's not just going one way. It kind of goes both ways. And so there's a kind of a one end over here, one end over there. So if you kind of look at it like at the front part are some of the immediate needs of our job seekers and businesses. And throughout the middle, you have this long-term planning of really retraining and keeping up with industry. And then on the other side, you have the immediate needs of the business. So just to give you an idea, within that pipeline, of course, business and industry, we want to not only serve businesses and industry, but we want to hear from you what you need, what are the changes, what are the challenges, that we can help you with. And then, of course, economic development, not just our department, but our other economic development partners, such as GPEC, Arizona Commerce Authority, and so on. And then also our Workforce Development Network, which Seth kind of touched on. It could be, we have so many partners, Goodwill, Friendly House, the list is really long. And our educational institutions, because without an organization that can actually deliver the training, help create the training based on industry needs, we're kind of lost. All right, so you heard S.O.A.R mentioned, but nobody told you what it is. So we just thought we'd do that because we are government, so we love to use acronyms without telling you first. So now we're going to explain what S.O.A.R is. S.O.A.R is really a top-notch career job readiness program that individuals have the opportunity to enroll in before they choose to take occupational training. whether they're transitioning or just stacking their level of skill. It's really important for them to go through this because I'm sure many of you know how we look for work today is so different than how you did several years ago. And then additionally, you know, if you've been in a job for 25 years and now you have to go look for work, you know, it's a big change. It's a big adjustment. There's not only a mental shift that has to happen, there's that attitude adjustment. So there's a lot of things that happen. So S.O.A.R actually stands for self-assessment. We do other assessments, and then we do active research on industries, trends, career paths, and then we help them rewrite the plan. So S.O.A.R is an 8-day program that happens here, and it's really about helping job seekers get back to work. I have the privilege of teaching the LinkedIn class, which is pretty great. So here's some of our services. We talked about helping companies, and Daryl mentioned the benefit. We do a lot of talent acquisition. So these are just some of the key points of what we do. From my background, I know that every single one of these usually costs you something. And then the time, and then the going through it. And most departments are running so lean. We're just willing to come in and usher you along that process and assist you. So there's free job postings. There's access to a free database called Arizona Job Connection. We'll do social media recruitment. We help you do employer branding. We'll go to different network meetings for job seekers and so on, and just really talk about your company if you're new to the area and get that community awareness going. And we do resume and interview screening, and then we also do targeted recruitments. So targeted recruitments is more than just a job fair. It's really specific to your needs. So you have a pool of candidates right in front of you within a select amount of time, so you can just knock them out and get them done versus one by one interviews, or people who, you know, just really aren't a fit for what you're looking for. Here's just a couple examples, and this was done before we worked with Connections, who's here. Just to give you an example, LabCorp was expanding, and they were adding about 100 people, and we did free job postings, and we did a target recruitment here. We also helped them do a press release, which is really great. And they brought in so many recruiters and staff, and we even helped, but they actually not just had a recruitment, they did 200 interviews throughout the day, which was incredible. And they were thrilled. They originally thought maybe 50 would come. So there's a line out the door, so it was awesome. And then Asurian is an example of an incoming company. They did not have a presence in the Valley, and they were on the East Coast, and they were coming here, but their building wasn't finished. And so they were looking for some assistance to start their recruitment. So when their office space was done, they could go ahead and quickly onboard. And also, they hadn't hired their operations, which included their HR team. So they were able to fly in, use our cubicle space, do their targeted recruitments, and it's just been a great ongoing relationship with them. So now I'm going to pass it to, that way, Terry. He's going to talk about our training and development programs. Thank you, Terry.
Thanks, Shireen. I'm Terry McAvoy, Senior Business Consultant here at the Business Center. I'm going to talk to you briefly just about some training development programs that we have, a little bit about the center, and as you can see, $55 billion spent on employee development is a massive amount of money, and it's money that is necessary to be spent to have a successful workforce. We have some programs in place that can help offset those costs and maximize your training dollars. First one is an on-a-job training program. It's something we're going to be rolling out this year. You can get up to $6,000 back of wages reimbursed to your staff or for your staff for new hires that you bring on to your firm. One that we've had success with in our first year is our employed worker training. This is a reimbursement program for your existing staff, and we can reimburse you for approved training expenses. And to date, we've put out just about $115,000 into Phoenix businesses that have taken advantage of this program. We hope to increase that number next year and help our Phoenix businesses continue to be successful. This is just a quick summary of all we could fit on one slide of who we've helped. There are more companies, but we've worked with Vantage Mobile, Pivot Manufacturing, IO Data, TGen for a histo technician, and most recently, we're just finalizing a company called Pinnacle Transplant Technologies, which is located in North Phoenix. They're a tissue bank, and they needed to help train their staff to become certified tissue bank specialists, which is a really unique training program, and we're happy to provide them training dollars to make that happen. This will maximize their training budget so they can take on Six Sigma and some other things that they've reached out to us for assistance with. So we're very pleased to work with them. We don't do this, and you've heard our high-value partners mentioned so far today. We don't do this without them, or we're not as effective without them. And I see many of them in the room today, and thank you again for coming out. We value the relationship we have with all of you, and we look forward to continued success. I see goodwill here, Maricopa Workforce Connections, closely with our state partners, youth providers, the education community with ASU, Maricopa Community Colleges. The Arizona Commerce Authority is very much involved in what we do. GPEC, Mountain States Employment Council, and there's others. So we really appreciate the relationships that we've built and continue to build in our coming years. So as business consultants, you heard Shireen talk a bit about it. We can do some things for your business to help you shape the direction you want to go in. We can provide you with labor market analysis, so if you need to know employment trends in Phoenix or certain things that are happening, we can assist you and provide you that data. Shireen is our certified HR and workforce planning professional. She's got a wealth of experience, and along with our support, we can customize recruitment plans like she mentioned. So these are things that we can provide to you at no cost to your business. And I skipped a spot here. Workshops and HR business topics. So we do industry forums about once a month. And next week, on May 16th, here at the center at 10 a.m., I'll be hosting an industry forum for financial services industry. So if you're a community partner, you know job seekers that are interested in that, please come to this no-cost event. It'll be at 10 a.m. next Friday. And then the business center. This is why we're here today, right? We have 12,000 square feet of impeccable office space. You see the AV system we have. We have that in our other room over here, room number 2, or the MAG presentation will be shortly. We have our computer lab, which is just a mind-blowing thing that when companies come in to do a tour, they're just thrilled that we have that technology available for them. So if they want to come and host training, do an off-site meeting, they can utilize our center and take advantage of what we have here. Again, meetings. You want to get your team off-site and come out and do a day retreat, we are here to provide you that service and in this space. And Shireen mentioned a cubicle space for visiting companies. I still think it's pretty cool that a company started their Phoenix operation in this building. I think that's one of our telling tales. If you'd like to learn more about any of the programs I've mentioned, take a tour of the facility, in addition to what we can do with you today, there's our contact information. My business cards are over on the table over there if you'd like to reach out to me after the meeting. I look forward to talking to you. Thanks.
So thank you for coming this morning. We have some exciting things happening, but we have a lot of work to do, as you know. So everything that we do to connect with business, to connect with our community partners, is to get people work, right? Put people back to work, help them themselves put themselves back to work, and it's all through you and your help that do that. So I want to mention the corporate college of the Maricopa Community College District is actually the one that gave us the lead for Pinnacle Transplant. That's an example of how we work together. We were there to support Goodwill. They served over 6,000 people in one day of putting them to work. So we want to encourage, and DES had a job fair, served over 3,000 people that day. We want to put people to work. So as we go out in the community, again, we're representing many of you. Let us know what your needs are. We'd be happy to connect you with the right resources. So a couple quick announcements. So if you have ideas, we're really searching for feedback and ways to improve, ways we can get out into the business community more. Put them on the wall of wonder, whatever that is over there. And we'd like to follow up with you. Second, if in your packet, we have a couple announcements. So next week, we have a Fit Phoenix workshop here that if you're interested in getting your organization to become healthier, setting a health plan in place, which ultimately reduces costs. So for us in economic development, what a great retention strategy. We improving the health of our workforce, and actually everyone's getting a little bit healthier at the same time. That's next Tuesday, or the May 13th, here at the Business Center. We'd love to invite you. There's an RSVP there. And all of you are invited to consider hiring youth. So we talk about workforce development. We talk about succession planning. We also talk about pipeline development. And what better way to get our young adults in our community with some work experience? We have a summer youth program. For 5 weeks, you bring summer youth on the job. We'll pay for their wages, but we want to create work sites. And so we're asking to engage with you. We want your help. Please consider it for your business, for your organization, but for others that you may want to have a young adult come into your workspace. There's a flyer in here, there's an email, there's a phone number. Contact any one of our business reps. We'd love to get our youth to work. I know all of you do. I know that's a passion of yours, but it's critical to our workforce development and the health of our workforce in the local area. So please consider bringing on a youth for their summer work. And finally, next Tuesday, Goodwill is also opening another career center in partnership with the Salvation Army. Goodwill's been an outstanding partner of ours, and we want to continue to support their work in putting people to work. So there's a flyer in there about Goodwill. But again, this day is about you, our business leaders in our community. Help us get connected with you even more. I'd like to introduce Jason Howard. I don't know if he's here. So we're going to break now. You're going to have the rest of your day. Happy Friday. Happy Mother's Day to the mothers in the room. But please consider staying for a workshop that we were able to bring in. There's Jason hiding in the corner. Jason with Maricopa Association of Governments and his team have put together no-cost resources 2 clicks away available on their website. So you're able to identify. All of us are searching for real-time data, real-time information. What is our community profile? What does it look like? What's my neighborhood profile? What's my council district profile? They have tools where you can customize searches. So if you're writing grants, if you're looking to target certain industries in certain areas, North Phoenix, West Valley, doesn't have to be Phoenix, this is the tool for you. They're going to show us what it is, how to map it, and then further resources that they can provide through MAG. So consider staying. We're going to start that workshop in about 5 minutes. I'm going to introduce Al Jernigan. He's going to give some tours right after this. So if you want to stay, feel free to go to every corner of our center here. We're only on the 6th floor, so if you go to the 5th, it's not my responsibility. But 6th floor, go and check out the center, what we have to offer. Please look at our computer lab, look at our office space. This is your center. Thanks for coming this morning.